peeps? It's your girl Dash coming back to Funeral Takes. Well, you guys, it's that time again. It's movie news time, and I have a lot to cover. I know I have probably well over 10 things to discuss, so I definitely want to just jump into the thick of it. So you know what? Let's just go ahead and get into it. Now, the first thing I want to discuss has to do with Fast and Furious 9. I'm already excited about that because you already have heard they have already started production. I think they are within the first 3 weeks of production on the film. I'm starting to hear that we have a couple of additional cast members who are coming back. You know, when they say new cast members, these are people who are coming back. You know, they were actually in the last one, which was The Fate of the Furious. And that was, of course, Helen Mirren and Charlize Theron. Of course, Charlize played the character Cypher, who was kind of the main, kind of like, antagonist, so to speak. And, basically just a straight up, diabolical, methodical, whatever you want to call her in this particular film, whichever. She was definitely considered a cyber terrorist of sorts. And I didn't particularly mind her character so much. She was okay for what we were given from her, but I felt like it was left unresolved. So I'm kind of happy she's going to be in this one. Of course, I said Helen Mirren. She's coming back as, of course, we were introduced to her. She plays the character, I want to say, Magdalene, which was Jason Statham's mother in the film. I love me some Helen Mirren. She is just, oh my gosh, she's just a beaut. I love everything about her. So I'm excited to see her in this one. Now, I did hear that she made a comment that if she were to come back to the franchise, she would like to be behind the wheel of one of the vehicles. So I really hope that's true, and I hope we get to see that. I know she was in the movie. Wasn't she in the movie? I think she was in the movie Red, and I loved her in that one. I don't think we saw her anything where she was really doing actual driving or something, but I think we did, if I'm not mistaken. I'm trying to remember Red and Red 2, but that would be nice of her to do that in this particular franchise for sure. Now, I know there was some video that's been on social media. I want to say like through Instagram, whichever, that some of the actors have been showcased. Where I think Michelle Rodriguez just had a birthday. And I'm definitely a fan of Michelle, love her. So I know just seeing them all together, the camaraderie amongst them, whatever, it's kind of really a tight-knit family. So you see, of course, Ben, Tyrese, Ludacris, Natalia, Michelle. I think we see in the back, I think John Cena might have been in as well. And I think the director's in it as well. They all come together at the cake, wish happy birthday, a hug, whichever. And I just love that they are so tight knit. Now, we do have a movie coming out later. I want to say August, which is, of course, Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw. If you all remember, The Rock came out in his first movie with the franchise back with Fast Five. And then I remember we got a little bit more introduction to Jason Statham when he did was it Furious 7. So with them coming out doing their kind of spin-off of sorts, whichever, doesn't look like he will be in this one. I made a comment a while back, probably a couple months ago, on the possibility of, let's hope he's in the last and final one, because I know that Ben is doing a 10th one, and that'll probably be it until we see a possibility of the rumors being that they might do a spin-off, with the females of the franchise as well. Michelle Rodriguez might continue on in other aspects, whichever. And I'm also hearing that they might even bring back, depending on how they flush out Cypher's character, she might be in that spin-off, so to speak, as well. But let's just say that Dwayne had made a comment how he feels this unfinished business between, him and Dom's character. The last movie, I don't recall there being anything that was left to be said. So we'll see if he's going to be in Fast and Furious 10. So I'm just saying, but I'm excited for this. I'm looking forward. This comes out May 22nd, 2020, birthday month for me. So I'm looking forward to seeing this. I'm wanting to know in what capacity John Cena's character actually is in this. They have not stated that as well. If Cypher really is going to be the main, nemesis, antagonist, again, I doubt seriously. She'd probably be one of those ones where he's dealing with some other character, but then she's kind of coming back into the fold because she feels like they botched her plans. She wants some sort of revenge. Plus, I feel like it's probably going to be some unfinished business between her and maybe Michelle Rodriguez's character for all the trouble she caused, whichever, in regards to, the situation that happened with, of course, the person he was seeing, Elsa, Pasky's character that got killed, when he found out the reveal of her having his son. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to just seeing all the aspects of how they're going to, progress the story along, because we do have 2 more left, so I'm definitely down. I'm here for it. I'm looking forward to it. I'm so happy they are in production. So yes, let's get this baby going, because it's like I stated, it's a lot coming out in 2020, and I am here for it. So moving on from that, now this is another one where I'm hearing some cast members are being added, and it's one that's coming, a blast from the past, and this has to do with 007. There's, of course, James Bond. You know me. Love me some James Bond, and I love me some Daniel Craig. I'm here for it. We're hearing that Christoph Waltz will be back as Blofeld. I'm not sure how to take that. Now, you already know how I feel because I stated how I enjoy Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace, Skyfall, love that movie, and Spectra. No, that's the one we were introduced to Christoph Waltz's character, and it was to me honestly a very lackluster. So I'm curious to see in what capacity he will be coming back. He's not playing the main villain in this one. That is going to be Rami Malek, who's playing this particular villain in this one. And we have a very star-studded cast. I'm excited for that. I definitely hope we hear a little bit more. They claim that some unnamed visitor might have seen him, on the studio, lots movie, lots whichever, doing a scene. He kind of played it off whichever, but some people, if they know anything, it doesn't seem to take long before it to get out to the masses within social media before it gets around and circulates. So if that's the case, that is fine. Like I stated, I just want to know in what capacity, if it's considered, and it probably is, and honestly, it should be some unfinished business between because he had some sort of connection, if you all recall, from the original one he did with him for Spectra. So I'm just wondering, we're going to have a lot of different type of scenes happening, and definitely some action sequences from what I'm hearing. We're seeing pictures showcasing some of the vehicles that will be used within the movie. I said it before, this is the fifth and final one, which will have Daniel Craig attached. I'm excited for this one. I hope it's done very well. I'm very excited about the director, Kerry Fukunaga, who will be the actual director for this one. So I'm looking forward to seeing him, bring this last and final installment of Daniel's part as James Bond, to a good critical end. So I'm just ready for the movie. I know that, Daniel did get injured. I heard he's back up and running, whatever. He's been, he recovered. So hopefully he will not be hurt again. I know it's a lot because of streams, and he even said it too. That's why I was surprised when he was coming back to do the fifth, because I figured he was probably done with it. But they must have been able to talk him into it, and that nice little payday must have been nice, just very nice for him to consider doing this last and final one. And he probably wanted to make sure he went out, on a good note with the character, because I didn't think he would be doing 5. Some of them do definitely a large amount of these, and then you have some who will do maybe 1, some will do 2. So for him to do 5 of them, that's a good thing. So I'm dying to know who's going to be doing the next one, moving on when he finally decides to move the character to another person playing James Bond. That's going to be very interesting. So this one comes out, I want to note the date, April 8th, 2020. Again, 2020, you guys, is on fire. So we're moving along from that. So this is one I talked about a couple weeks ago. This has to do with Saw, and I had said how I was very surprised to hear that we have Chris Rock, who is, of course, all about his comedy, but he loves him some horror, and he's definitely attached to kind of doing a reboot of sorts of Saw. Now, it's been a long time since we saw the first original Saw. Now, this particular one will be directed by Darren Lynn Bousman. He actually did Saw 2, 3, and 4. So that does make me feel a little bit better, because at first I didn't know who was directing this. I knew that Chris Rock was attached, nothing more. So I'm getting a little bit more information here, which helps me to feel like, okay, let's see what's going on. Now we're getting some more information about who's being cast. And this was rather shocking to me because I didn't know this person was going to be in this, but I have 3 different names, one particular, and that's Samuel L. Jackson. He's being cast in this. Like to know how that came out of nowhere, but okay, I'm here for it. We have 2 other names. I want to get his name right. His name is Max Minghella, and then we have Marisol Nichols. I'm familiar with her work, great actress. So that right there, the casting, I'm feeling. Like I said, the director, I'm feeling. So yeah, I'm kind of on board for this. I wasn't sure, really, honestly, like, okay, Chris Rock saw horror. I'm like, how's this going to do this? Now, remember now, the last movie that definitely pertains to anything, in regards to the franchise was Jigsaw. That came out in 2017. I went to see it. I enjoyed it for what it was, but it didn't do anything to propel, to move them along. So it's almost like people kind of probably forgot about it already. I particularly didn't, because I've basically watched the majority of these, whichever. It's all gore fest, whatever. I'm here for those. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this is going to go. I did note this a little bit of a synopsis for you all. Let me read up what they're saying. They're saying Chris Rock will star as a police detective, investigating a string of grisly crimes, with Jackson co-starring as Rock's on-screen father. Meanwhile, Mingala will play Rock's partner, and William Schneck and Nichols will portray his and Rock's boss, Angie Garza. So, yes, now the name of partner, Rock's partner, Migala plays William Schneck. I just want to confuse you all with the name of his actual character's name. So, that's very interesting. I'm curious to know who will be behind these particular grisly deaths, whether character is going to be a part of this, whichever, because you already know how they always do it, where it's always the little cliffhanger, the reveal of who was attached to, who's been, causing all the strings being pulled from the beginning, and then we go back and we figure out exactly who was a part of it, to get to where we are at the end of the movie. So, but I will always say the first one just did it for me. I will never forget that ending. I literally was dumbfounded. We were in the theater, and just the fact that he was dead supposedly the whole entire time and was not. And literally after the rest of them got out, he just got up and walked out. I will never forget that. That was just something. Kudos to them, because that was so freaking refreshing for the time it came out, because it was nothing I'd ever seen. So I'm looking forward to see what he's going to do. I'm like, okay, right, no pressure, Chris, but okay. I've never, seen him really in a horror, so this is going to be real interesting to see. I'm here for, Chris doing his thing. Definitely looking forward to seeing Samuel L. Jackson in this as well. So I'm going to keep tabs on anybody else that's being attached to this, because I'm definitely now interested now. So, but with that said, you guys, moving on. Now, this one, another horror. And this has to do with Candyman, one of my favorites. This is a classic. People want to call it cult classic. It's classic. Of course, at the helm is producing wise is Jordan Peele. Director is Nia DaCosta. I'm excited about that. This one I'm definitely interested in as well. Production starts very soon, and that is actually August. Now, we still don't know a lot about the plot. They're not really saying this. They're saying this is some sort of spiritual sequel. I don't know how to take that. I need to know about the plot details. That will be a little bit better to understand and grasp what we're looking at, but fine, I'll go along with it. I'm just looking forward to seeing, how this is going to turn out. I'm really hoping, and I didn't hear anything, if Tony Todd is attached in some way, that would be nice. I really wish they would just make him come back, but, they could. He might be a little bit older, but they could do some sort of, facial recognition, CGI wise, to bring him back, and he could play that character. He just all encompassed Candyman. So I'm really hoping he is attached, and they're just not saying anything to us just to kind of surprise us or whatever. That would be nice, because no one's saying who's Candyman supposed to be within the movie. They're keeping that part real freaking hush hush. And if this is a case that Tony Todd is actually it, and he's just not saying anything, and I follow him, I'll be so mad, but then I'll be happy inside. I just will be pissed, like, you kept this crap from us. Like, how you do us like that? But, the buildup of knowing is getting me more hyped for it, whichever. I'm going to support. I'm excited. I know a lot of people weren't giving really much backlash to Jordan Peele doing it, but except the fact that his last two movies, being around, the horror thrill aspect, being Get Out and Us, a lot of them are like, okay, take a step back. Let's see what you're going to do with it. Tony Todd, giving us his blessing, he's kind of put it out there. It'd be nice, be considered that they would consider him, bring him back, whichever and all that. I don't know if that's going to happen. Again, fingers crossed. We do know that Lakeith Stansfield's in this. Looking forward to seeing him do his thing. Fan of some of his work. So yes, I'm just glad production starts. They don't state exactly an actual official date. I want to think maybe sometime next year. I know with Jordan Peele, he doesn't seem to do stuff later in the summer, fall. His movies come out earlier in the year. So we'll have to see if this is going to be something that might be considered a March, April. If they're about to start production in August, it's a possibility. We might end up getting a trailer by the end of the year. You never know. So definitely going to keep my tabs on this one, you guys. But I'm excited because now we know next month is on and popping, and I'm ready to see what they're going to have us in store for. So I'm really hyped to see that. So another one. Now I have information. This has to do with the Invisible Man. Finally, you all. Finally. We know who's going to be playing the Invisible Man. I went on my little rant. Every time I talked about this, I know some of you all probably rolled your eyes. Sorry, that's just how I feel. We had it down to Armie Hammer and Alexander Skarsgård, but it looks like it's not going to be either one. My heart does hurt that Alexander won't get it, but the actual person will be actually doing the role. Let me get his name. His name is Oliver Jackson Cohen. And when I first heard the name, I said, okay, I know who that is. He actually was in a Netflix show, The Haunting of Hill House. And I enjoyed that full season 1 series. That was a great, great first season of the show for that particular, Netflix, show. And I will say this, he played the heck out of his character on there. So I'm really now intrigued to see him do his thing in this particular one. So we definitely now, yes, confirmation now, finally, because they're getting ready to start production. So we needed to know who was going to play, because I kept saying, I said, okay, all the other cast members have been added. We have Elizabeth Moss, we have Aldous Hodge, we have Storm Reed. Who is playing the Invisible Man? And I was just like, the heck, it was like the build up just to know. It's like, oh my God, what are you all doing? So finally, so now we can move this along. So let me give you a little bit of a synopsis for what's happening in this one. This one's still, of course, I said, directed by Leigh Whannell. I'm excited about that. This is how it's stating it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be Invisible Man. Of course, it's a scientist who invents invisibility technology, that he uses to convince those close to him, including the ex-girlfriend, which is played by Elizabeth Moss, he used to abuse. It says that he committed suicide. However, over time, Moss's character begins to suspect the truth and reaches out to a supportive but skeptical cop and single father, which is played by Aldous Hodge. So that right there is good. We get a little bit of understanding of how the story is going to properly flow, and that's going to be very interesting to see. I'm already loving the way the storyline is going to be depicted, because I just feel like definitely going to be a lot of suspense, definitely a thriller. I'm here for it. I'm just getting a visual, and I love the way Leigh Whannell does in regards to his actual directing, and the fact that he's been a part of horror, being that he's a part of Blumhouse production. So that right there has me excited for this whole entire movie. But I'm just happy we finally have the full cast, and whoever else is going to be supporting. But this is the core cast of the movie, so I'm totally here for it. So yes, the ball will be rolling soon. I think I said around August or September they were supposed to be starting production. This comes out March 13th, 2020. So like I said, I figured we're going to get this ball rolling, because this starts, this comes out this year. It's over. We're already halfway through the year. So they need to go ahead and get this baby cracking. So I have I have something else I can watch, coming out for next year. So it's a rack of stuff coming out next year. My God. So moving on from that one. Now this is one, I don't know how to take it, because this came out, of course, 30 years ago, but I just feel like it's this new thing where if it's been over 30 years, let's go ahead and just do a remake or reboot or whatever and all that. People won't think about it. And plus the young cats won't know anything, because they won't even think to look at the original, as if some of these original movies don't hold up perfectly fine, whichever. So here we are again with another one. This has to do with Look Who's Talking. Now, if any of you all who are probably might be in my age bracket, some of y'all might not know what I'm talking about, you know, do some research. This has to do with a movie that came out back in 1989, which starred, of course, John Travolta and Kirstie Alley. Both of them, I love them dear. Love me some John Travolta. That movie was a great movie. It was hysterical. Of course, it has to do with Kirstie Alley's character, who basically ends up having an affair with one of her clients. Doesn't work out. He kind of does his own thing when she ends up pregnant, whichever. Now, of course, John Travolta's character plays the cab driver when she's in the midst of going into labor, and he's trying to get her to the hospital. I'm remembering the scene of him trying to get her to the hospital, whatever, and all that. And I remember when she was hitting him because she almost caused the accident, whatever. She thought she was going to lose her baby. But the movie just hysterical. And of course, once the baby's born, of course, we get the visual of of a voice that's being played by Bruce Willis, who plays the baby's voice. That movie, honestly, if I pulled it out right now, I would watch it. It's so funny to me. It still, to me, holds up because it's perfectly fine. But yes, it is one of those I consider a classic. It was hilarious. It's so good because I think it was on a budget of somewhere, I think, between, I think, $7, $8, or $9 million a time, but it made over $300 million. And then it garnered two more. It made a Look Who's Talking 2, and then Look Who's Talking Now. The Look Who's Talking Now had to do with, I think, the pets, if I'm not mistaken. The Look Who's Talking 2 was when they had another baby, and it was a baby girl. And I think, was it Roseanne Barr who did the voice for her? I think so. It's been a minute since I remember that one specifically, because I watched the original first one more than any of the other two that came out after. But yes, I don't know how to feel. It depends on who's going to play the characters that I might, of course, get behind it. But I'm going to tell you, I'm going to still have a soft spot for the original. I'm sorry, it's still fine. Now, the director of this, let me get it, who's going to be directing this, his name is Jeremy Gerlich. He actually did the movie The Wedding Ringer. His take on this, I'm going to read exactly what he says. He says, what excited me about doing this is I have 4 kids, including twins. And this is something they can watch and share some of the experience I had with my wife, like figuring out how to raise these kids with all the mistakes that happen. And in the voices that are key to facial expressions, of course, you already know, it just really seems like a fun idea. Everyone can relate to babies. The challenge is that was a really good movie. John Travolta and Kirstie Alley had great chemistry. Amy Heckerling remember the director? She wrote the script. Awesome. we're in the early stages of figuring out what story is for the modern version of this movie. And of course, you always love how they throw that out there. We're gonna, do it for a more modern audience. You know, I'm like, sometimes, you know what? You don't got to do all that to make it modern. Just tell them go pull the other one or go online and find it. Everybody wants to stream, whatever. It is what it is. Some people might decide to see the original one with John Travolta, Chris Elliott before they even see the new one. You never know. So, but me, again, it's going to depend on who's actually going to be cast and those two main characters right there, and who's going to do the voice. Because Bruce Willis brought that baby home. That thing was so good. Oh my God. So I'm definitely want to know who's going to do the voice. That's going to be the part that's going to make it the most hilarious. And definitely the facial expressions of the baby, communicating. And of course, I'm trying to understand what the baby said, just the whole bit. So like I said, I'll keep my overall reservations, to a minimum until we know the casting aspect of it. We got the director. Let's figure out what's going on with this casting, and then I'll come back and I'll give you my full thoughts on, okay, I just now I need to see a trailer. So moving on from that. Now, this is one of those ones where a lot of people don't seem all that, well, not say a lot of people. Let me speak for myself. I don't want to speak for anybody else. You all can comment in the comment section and let me know how you feel. I'm not sure how to feel about them doing this do with The Flash. Of course, we still know Ezra Miller is still attached. I'm curious because now we're getting word that a particular director is being attached to this, and it is going to be most likely he's in talks. Doesn't seal the deal yet, and that is the It director of It and It 2, Andy Muschietti. Now, I'm a fan of his work, so I was really surprised hearing that he's in talks of consider being the director for this movie. Now, I noticed there's some sort of a resurgence of horror directors who want to do stuff in regards to comic book. Of course, we have James Wan who did Aquaman. We had, David Sandberg who did Shazam. And I'm hearing word about the Black Adam movie, and it's being done, and he came on, and he's helming as a director. Let me get his name correctly. His name is, what's his name? Oh my gosh, I just wrote it down here, and I can't even remember. Yes, Jamais Collet Serra. I don't know. I'm familiar with some of his other work. That's why I was surprised that he's come on to do Black Adam. He did House of Wax. He also did The Shallows, and he did one of my favorite thriller movies, Orphan. So I'm like, okay, but I'm just like, okay, this is really interesting. It definitely seems like a lot of, directors who are known for horror are coming over to comic book land. So I'm like, okay, nothing wrong with that. It seems like they're putting out, so far good work, in the comic book area, whichever is getting a lot of people enthused. And plus it opens them up to doing other things, everything not being all encompass horror, which is fine. I'm curious to see how it's going to turn out. If he does it, that would be great. He probably wants to take a break from doing horror. Nothing wrong with that. I will say this, the director part, definitely happy with that because I see the potential there. Now, the writer of this, her name, let me get her name correctly. That's Christina Hodson. She actually had written for Bumblebee. She also has written for Birds of Prey, and she's also working on Batgirl. I'm happy about that one. So I'm feeling very confident about the script. One thing I will say is this, and I was talking to my dear friend and colleague at work, and I'm going to tell you, when I tell him how he's still attached, his face is just not here for it. He's like, I do not care for him. Me, I don't mind Ezra Miller as the Flash. The thing I didn't like when he was doing his scenes in the movie, the Justice League movie, was his speed. The way they were making him, speed. I didn't like the way his arms were. Just when I saw it, I was just like, what is happening? What is going on there? I am sorry to say it like this, but I'm just going to keep it real. I did not like that. I'm going to put it like this. If, Muschietti comes on board and he does it, then I'm going to feel good. I'm going to tell you like this. Please get that speed, right? Because I did not like the way it was portrayed. I'm not the only one who thought that thing was so freaking funky, the way it looked. So I'm down for it. I want them to do a Flash movie. Overall, his character is has layers. Plus, he definitely brought scenes where he was very funny at times in the movie. Of course, him across from playing the character from Bruce Wayne, aka Batman. So I'm here for it. So all we are basically waiting to see if Muschietti is going to come on board and actually do it. And if he does, then some people might, say, okay, I'm going to give it a chance. Let's see what's up. Then I want to see also who else is cast with Ezra Miller's character as well. That would be nice to know who else is going to come on board to be within the casting. We're going to get, of course, maybe a flashback, his backstory, how is this going to, parlay to anything else in regards to this? Because if this one does well, the potential is of a secondary one. That would be nice. Shazam did very well. They're going to definitely do a second one. Aquaman is already, going to do theirs, and that one's coming out in 2022. So, hey for DC. So I really hope it does pan out. I'm here for it. So let's just, for me, fingers crossed for Ezra, whichever not, because he's still attached. He still feels, has faith in the movie, and the fact that Muschietti is even considering it, that's a good thing. So from that, moving on from that, you guys. Now this one, I'm wondering how this will pan out. This has to do with Sylvester Stallone's franchise for the Expendables. Of course, Expendable, possibly of a fourth one. Now, the first two I loved. The third one was some garbage. The way the CGI was in that thing, it was just, oh God, just, ugh. But it is what it is. I know that he had stepped away from possibly doing a fourth when some stuff happened, whatever, and all that, and he kind of, took his name off of the possibility of doing it. But then lately, in the last couple of years, it's kind of come back to resurgence. So it's a possibility we might be getting something down the pike. I love all of the nostalgia from all the action, stars from the previous ones. That was one of the things. When I saw the first one, I was like, oh my God, all my favorites. That's why I said it's just so many of them. And I could go somewhere in regards to my comment about that, but I'm not going to do that, whichever and all that, because it just seems like I'll be kind of partaking in some, ignorance from that aspect, but I'm just going to leave that alone, whichever. I'd have a right to say what I was going to say, I caught myself, but I said I won't go there. But needless to say, I'm here for it. I want him to possibly do one. I know we already are waiting for him to come out with, of course, Rambo Last Blood. I'm here for that. Brother, staying busy. We already have another Escape Plan movie coming out, I think with him and Dave Bautista. Just like Stallone is staying busy. He's staying freaking busy. We're already hearing word they might possibly be doing a TV series for Cobra. Totally here for that. So I just want to see, okay, if he does kind of, right now it's just, them putting it out there. Nothing's written in stone just yet, whatever, but he's feeling a little bit more excitement about the possibility of doing another one. Next, I want to know who's going to be in it. I want to know who's going to be in it. Now, is Arnold going to come back? Is Jason Statham going to come back? Those right there, I would like to see. Is Jet Li going to come? Some of the main ones I really want to come, especially like Arnold. I would love for them to come back. That would be awesome. So I did hear that they're stating, we're not sure if Terry Crews' character might come back. A couple things, came, out, from regards to some personal matters, whichever and all that. And he kind of removed himself from the franchise, but you never know. Who's to say that Stallone might reach out, and do what he needs to do to make it where Terry will come back with certain individuals are not attached to the film. And I'm talking about behind the scenes people are being producers, whichever. That would be nice because Terry was bringing the action and definitely the funny. And I'm here for him. I love some Terry Crews as well. So I'm going to keep my eyes on this one, whichever, and see if we hear anything, moving forward in the next couple of months, maybe in the next 6 months going into next year, they might start talking about that, whichever. So, because I know we'll be getting ready to do some press, later on in a couple months for Rambo Last Blood. So I know once he gets that off the pike, Escape Plan, then he'll probably start considering this and then seeing who wants to come on board, whichever. Because the more the notoriety for the different particular characters for action stars come in, the better, and that's the better to bring more people to that theater to see this thing. And the action better be on point. I don't want to see all that CGI nonsense because I'm not even here for that. So, but with that said, moving on. Now this one, I'm still just like, wanting to know exactly what his character is, and this has to do with the Suicide Squad movie, and this has to do with Idris Elba. Now we're hearing somebody else has been cast, and that is Storm Reed, who's going to be playing his daughter in set, movie. Now, we still don't know if he's going to be playing Bronze Tiger because that's just been floating around, but it's not set in stone. So basically, we still don't know what his character is. He's definitely not Deathshot, excuse me, which was supposed to be the character Will Smith was supposed to do, but of course, schedule conflict. He won't even be in the movie. They didn't want him to do that when they're giving him a whole totally different new title. James Gunn is keeping that crib just totally under wraps. So, I really would like to know what his character will be playing now. So, I almost don't, want somebody in the comment section to put out some names of who they think he's going to be playing just to kind of figure out what the heck is going on. But that's fine. It is what it is. It just gets me a little more intrigued with his character and what he'll be doing. I'm hoping he's on the good side. He could be a bad guy. I just don't know. And kudos to Storm Reed. The girl is staying busy. I just talked about she's in the movie, the new movie coming out, The Invisible Man, which will be coming out next year in March. She was also in When They See Us, and she also was in the new show on HBO called Euphoria. So she's just staying busy. Kudos to her. So, but yes, and of course, other people who are coming back. Already told you, Margot Robbie, Joel Kinnaman, Viola Davis, and Jay Courtney. And those, just to name a few, and those are good, whichever. And of course, we're going to get introduced to some new characters. I'm excited about that. So, yes, I'm here for it. I'm looking forward to it. I think production is supposed to be starting later this summer, going into the fall. This one comes out August 6th of 2021, so we have a ways to go. I know James Gunn now is definitely attached to doing Suicide Squad, and he's also going to be doing the next, of course, Guardians of the Galaxy movie, so he's going to be straight busy. So this one, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing him put his stamp on this particular one. And I like the first one. I know a lot of people kind of liked it. It did very well at the box office, but some people kind of feel like it fell a little short in certain aspects of it, you know. But me overall, I did enjoy it. So I'm just glad that a lot of the characters are coming back, played by the original, you know, actors. So that's going to definitely have me excited and hyped to see it. So, but yes, again, when I know about who he's playing, you already know I'm going to bring that up. Like I state all the time, when I know more, you'll know more. So moving from that. Now, this is one of those ones that gets me all giddy just talking about it because I'm so excited. Sam Raimi says he is exploring new ideas to do a new Evil Dead movie. I'm so happy to hear that because I love me some Evil Dead. Okay, I'm gonna throw out a quick little actual story, whichever, which got me all into loving Evil Dead. Back in the day when the movie came out in '87, I remember my cousin took me out. One of my cousins, Marcia. She took me to see a movie, but she didn't tell me what movie we were going to see. And I was excited because I was hanging out with my big cousin, whichever. We get in there and I'm watching the movie and I'm like, oh, you know, this couple, they're going to this wooded area, this cabin all out here, whatever. So eventually I figured it must be something scary, whatever. I was 12 at the time. And needless to say, going through and watching that movie, I was just like, what the heck is this? And I swear to goodness, I was freaked out, of course, when he became possessed. You see his white eyes, his face is all ugly. Or the scene of the woman saying, that down there is not my mother, and her boyfriend turns into a creature, you know, day by dawn, you know, dead by dawn, dead by just, oh my God. I was like, what the hell? I think I screamed a couple of times. My cousin laughed at my expense. I was pissed off at her. I had nightmares for like a couple of days, nightlight on, whatever. I don't care. I had a nightlight and I made sure I used it. I was freaking out. So, but yes, in the end, I ended up enjoying it. And as I got a little older and started collecting movies, I ended up seeing the original Evil Dead first and then watching that again. But the one that always will have a soft spot will be Evil Dead 2. That's my favorite. So this makes me very happy that he's putting this out to the sphere. Of course, you remember we got the remake, which came out in 2013, and I like they had Jane Levy in it, and it was directed by Fede Alvarez. I loved it. A lot of people were that thing when that trailer came out. Some people were straight side eye and they're like, I don't want to see it. I don't want, and I can understand. You know, I watched the trailer because I wanted to see what the trailer looked like, and I was liking what I was seeing. The build up, the music, watching Jane Levy be up under, you know, the house, you know, we're gonna get you, just creepy. I was just, she looked straight creepy, and I was so here for it. And when I went to see it, all of us in the theater, we were loving every minute of it. So that had me hyped. And of course, you know, we got our show back. It was it 2015, Ash versus Evil Dead. Loved it. I haven't finished watching the last and final scene. It's just sitting on my DVR. I need to finish that. I'm going to buy the box set. That got to show the love for it. Support it. I love it. I love me some Bruce Campbell. I think he is just awesome. So I'm here for this. I'm curious to see what he's going to do. I'm going to read what he stated in here. He recently was interviewed by Bloody Disgusting. I follow them, love them. He says, I'd love to make another one. I said, I don't think the TV is in its future, but we're talking about him talking about Bruce, you know, Campbell and Rob Tapert and myself, one or two different ways to go for the next movie. He says, we'd like to make another Evil Dead feature, and in fact, we're working on some ideas right now. I love that even though Bruce is not trying to be within the front of the camera to do it again, but he loves to be behind it. I know he's going to do I think they're doing a video game, whichever way he's going to be the voiceover for it and playing Ash in that particular way. So he's still a part of it. He's given his blessing when Fede Alvarez did the first one, and he would love him to continue on. He did an awesome job. I was pissed when they decided not to renew because he was waiting, and when they didn't, he's like, okay, time to move on. We have all of them. Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness, Ash vs. Evil Dead. I think Bruce Willis has done the utmost he can. I know everybody would love him to come back. It's like, let him move on. He's given us a body of work in regards to that franchise. I think he's done his fair share. Let's just keep moving this on continuation now. I'm just waiting to see if Jane Levy is going to come back, get the storyline right, and she does come back because, of course, if you all have not seen the movie, you live under a rock, you see how it ended and how she was able to not become possessed again, and was able to walk away with one arm, one hand missing. So let's just get this baby rolling. I would love for her to come back. That thing was so freaking gory. It was so freaking good. So, but yes, I'm here for it. So this makes me very, very excited. I'm totally looking forward to seeing this. So when I know more about this, you most definitely going to know more about this, because Sam Raimi shouldn't have said this, because I'm going to keep my eyes out on anything when he start talking about Evil Dead as a possibility. I'm hoping, I know Fede Alvarez said, he said if he can come up with a good particular script, he would definitely like to work on it again. And work on it with Sam Raimi. Guess you both get together. Let Sam can just, put his 2 cents in, whatever, and all that, help him, whichever. Get that big role and make the thing as gory as it needs to be, to the point where it's damn near NC-17. Then I'll be so freaking here for it. So moving on from that. Now this is something I'm looking forward to, because they're adding on another cast member. It was already loaded with a nice, good cast in this one, but this particular castmate, I'm actually excited because I haven't seen her in anything as of late. I know she has been working on some stuff. There's one in particular movie I need to see that she actually did that was getting some good critical acclaim on Netflix. This has to do with the movie titled The Hunt, and this is through Blumhouse Productions. This is a movie I talked about a while back, where a woman by the name of Betty Gilpin, she was at the helm at first, and I'd heard about some other cast members. I'm going to read off the casting, and I thought it was really interesting because I thought she was the main lead. I could still be wrong. She could still be, and some other people, but now that I'm hearing a new person to add it, I'm feeling that this other person might be the lead, and I'm talking about Hilary Swank. Now, I love me some Hilary Swank. She's been in many of movies I love, so this makes me very, very happy to see her in this. I know she was in the Netflix movie I Am Mother, and I heard it was really well. I need to watch that, but like I said, I've seen her in many things. I think she's an awesome actress, well deserving of those 2 Oscars. So this is going to be something. Now let me just read off the other cast members so you can kind of get a feel. It's going to be starring, of course, also Emma Roberts. I already said Betty Gilpin, Justin Hartley, Glenn Howerton, Amy Madigan, love her too, and then Ike Barinholtz. Now the whole premise of this one, the way they're doing this, it kind of is dealing with tensions between, this has to do in regards to politics, like the political left wing and then the right wing in modern day America. It says it's set in the same humans hunting humans, via like a battle royale, similar to like, The Purge, things of that nature, whichever. Even like the movie, what's that movie? The Belko Experiment. Yes, if you all saw that movie, that was a good movie. So yes, basically, if I'm not mistaken, these people end up somewhere, don't know how they got there, whatever, and all that, and they're basically fighting for lives. They're being hunted down. So it's going to be real interesting how this all turns out, and I'm looking forward to it. It looks like it's going to be really good. It basically dealing with these characters, their political affiliations, and motivation, and currently, all that is going to be brought to the test. Whatever, I don't know if it's that they're on the right side of the political aspect, whichever, to stay from being killed. This one's going to be really interesting, and this is going to be definitely a hot topic for when these individuals from the cast actually start doing promo for the movie, when they go around doing interviews. It's going to be real interesting discussion, whichever, especially in the climate we're in right now. Definitely heavy stuff to be discussing. So, but that's fine. It is what it is. I'm here for it, and I like it. The name, The Hunt, very interesting. So, but yes, the director for this is Craig Zobel. So we have, what is it? The producer on this one, his name is, let me get his name right, Damon Lindelof. I want to say Lindelof, excuse me, my apologies. Craig Zobel is the director, and of course, like I said, Jason Blum being part of the Blumhouse production. So right there, those 3 powerhouses are going to be attached to this, whichever. And like I said, the Blumhouse productions, they've been putting a lot of good stuff out that I enjoy. So I feel like this is no different. I did hear that this comes out later this year, fall, so it's in September. So that'll be really interesting, going right into the fall, giving us the good little action stuff, action, suspense, thriller type of movie. Here for it. Looking forward to it. I'm glad I have something out to wait till next year, because a lot of the stuff I've been discussing is all coming out next year. So with that said, I'm going to move over that one. But again, happy to see that Hilary Swank's in this one. Looking forward to this one. This one I'm definitely looking forward to, because the casting has me excited and hyped. This has to do with a movie that has a full, almost, you can say almost a full female lit, actual lead casting. But at the helm of this is Jessica Chastain, so to speak. And this has to do with a spy thriller movie called 355. I'm here for this one. Let me name off these beautiful names of these beautiful women. And goes like this. Of course, I said Jessica Chastain. We have Lupita Nyong'o, Penelope Cruz. We have Fan Bingbing. And then we have Marion Cotillard. That right there is enough. I do have a couple other names I'm going to throw out in a minute, but that right there is enough to seal the deal for me. I'm here for it. I'm a fan, definitely, of Jessica. I am a fan of Lupita, Penelope Cruz. I'm getting familiar with Fan Bingbing, and of course, Marion. She's exquisite too. this is going to be something I'm definitely looking forward to. Like I said, it's a spy, like a spy thriller source of movie. And let me kind of give you a little bit of the premise of the movie. It says, with this particular movie, it says it's the general slang, which is referred to female spies, whichever fully revolves around a group of international women agents who join forces to stop a criminal organization from initiating a plan that would further destabilize the world. The main jargon for those type of things, whichever. Totally here for it. Now, there are some pictures that have been going out where they were showing Jessica Chastain and Sebastian Stan, on set, whichever, because they just started work on the set, whatever. So they just kind of maybe a week or two right into production of the movie. So I'm assuming he might be playing her love interest of sorts, whichever. I'm going to probably post it somewhere up in here. Now, speaking of him, for some additional casting, we have, of course, Sebastian Stan, we have Diane Kruger, and then we have a gentleman by the name of Edgar Ramirez. I'm familiar with him as well. So right there, that casting, all these individuals casted is a nice, eclectic cast. I'm totally here for it. I'm excited to see this. I don't have a date for this as of right now. They're claiming a mid-2020 release, so I want to say maybe late summer, early fall. I want to think more so fall because there's so much stuff coming out in the summer. I don't foresee this coming out actually in the summer. There's no way I'm going to really believe this coming out in the summer with the stuff that's coming out, especially in June with Wonder Woman and all that. Yeah, so I want to believe this is mostly for fall, and that's fine. Just move it to the fall because if it comes out closer to summer, it's not going to make the money it would rightfully deserve to make with this actual stars that they cast. So my fingers are crossed on this one. I am here for it. The actual director for this is Simon Kingberg. I'm excited for this. Now, I will say this. He actually was the one that did Dark Phoenix. I'm not going to hold it against him because I always say this. There's no particular director who's made a body of work where one or two movies, whatever, are considered, as they like to say, the term duds. That's the most recent dud. I hate that it's in people's mindset because it's so fresh, but it is what it is. So hopefully when this comes out next year, this will do very well, and people will act like they did not because she's, of course, working with him again because she was in the movie, Jessica Chastain, in that movie. So I'm going to give him a pass on that, and hopefully this will turn out much better. Much better. So I feel like with the casting, everybody be on board and her, doing what she needed to do, be at the helm to get these ladies to be in this. I feel confident this is going to be just fine. So, and I heard that the ladies are all in the midst of learning, dealing with, the weapons, guns, artillery, whatever. Kind of similar to how like John Wick, of course, Keanu Reeves, and of course, Halle Berry. There was, video, of course, showing Halle Berry going through her full training, doing the damn thing. I'm excited about that one. Of course, I saw John Wick 3. It was awesome movie. She did her thing. Same thing with another movie I'm looking forward to, and I'm waiting to see if they're going to showcase anything with them that has to do with Gunpowder Milkshake. That's an all-female cast as well. So I'm here for it. I'm looking for these women being a baddie, being that they're agents, going to be kicking butt. I'm totally here for it. So again, once I know an actual date and any more information about the movie, I will most likely bring it to you guys. When I hear more, I will let you know more. So, but with that said, this is the last and final thing I'm going to discuss. A little minor rant on this one, seeing that this is this big thing that's, took over social media like last week and a little bit of the week before. And this has to do with The Little Mermaid. Now, let me tell you, like when it comes to live action, I wasn't sure how I felt about live actions, period. I grew up with certain particular Disney movies, back, I want to say my 80s and 90s that I love. My two favorites, honestly, are Beauty and the Beast and The Little Mermaid. Those are my two favorites. Like, and thirdly is Lion King. That's the ones that I really, really loved. And when I started hearing that they're doing all these different live action, I'm like, okay, I don't know how to feel about them, whichever, them just Cinderella. Of course, when they did, Beauty and the Beast, I went and saw that. I actually enjoyed that. Of course, we just saw a recent teaser trailer for Mulan. They're also considering working on, Cruella for 2020. I'm excited about that one because, of course, 101 Dalmatians, all that. I'm excited for that. So, of course, when they were talking about doing a live action for The Little Mermaid, I was like, okay, I would love to see that. I'm curious to see who they're going to actually be in the main, starring role as Ariel. And at first, I want to say late last year, I started hearing little whispers that they were talking about supposedly, Zendaya was being considered, whichever, and then people were putting pictures of her, with some red hair, how she would look, whichever, and all that. And no real, the key word here being any sort of, backlash or whatever. People really enjoy her from some of her previous work, and of course her doing some of what she's doing right now. Like, speaking of her work right now, she's been doing press for Spider-Man Far From Home, and recently they showed her and she had red hair. So I started thinking, okay, is it going to be her? I said, because she looks really beautiful with the red hair. I'm like, oh my God, but of course it has to do with her character's MJ. It is what it is. So all of a sudden, I was like, okay, it is what it is. Whoever it's going to be, long as they can do the acting and they can sing, I'm here for it. It is what it is. Now it looks like it's going to be the lovely female Halle Bailey, and she's a part of the group Chloe and Halle. Now, when I heard that, I was like, oh, okay. Oh, I was like, all right. And I will say this: the first thing that came to my mind, I said the visuals of her overall look. I love her locks, I love her locks. I wanted to know if they would possibly make them, color them for the movie, whichever. I don't know if she'd want to do that, but if she's going to do that role, she would definitely consider it. Whatever is basically because somebody with locks, whatever. Once you color it, it doesn't go back to your natural color. You can never go back. You either just jet black, whatever color you want. So that would be a consideration. She'd have to consider doing that. Now, if they didn't, they would probably put her hair or put some hair over her head, that's red or whatever, and all to make it flow, whatever, or just give her regular black hair and just make it like that. Now, I know they've been getting backlash for the simple fact that they wanted to put her like, this is not the Ariel that we know. That's not my Ariel. These hashtags, I find this just to be so, so comical to me. This is a mermaid. It's not that deep. I know because of the cartoon, whichever, just like everybody else, I watched the cartoon, whichever. I put it like this. When I knew we were going to do the live action, I automatically just assumed off the cuff it was going to be, probably some white female. Didn't matter to me. It wasn't one of these things, oh my gosh, why can't she be Asian? Why can't she be Mexican? She can be black. Why are they going to make her white? I didn't care about none of that because that doesn't matter to me either way. Same thing with BB's, whatever, and she's going to be white, whatever, and all that. I went in there knowing full well that's probably what they're going to do, whichever, not thinking anything of it. So when I saw that they're going to make it Halle, Bailey, I'm like, oh, okay, it is what it is, whichever. She is an actress. She can act. She's on the show Grownish and all. She does very well. I've seen her in concert. She has a beautiful voice. So I already know when they do the songs, they're going to be beautifully done. We already know Lin-Manuel Miranda. He's working on some new music. And of course, the other songs that we grew up to listen to and love from the original animation are going to be, of course, remastered, whichever, for the live action. So I already know that part is going to be definitely taken care of. So in the end, I'm thinking overall, really, what's the problem? I'm like, make Ariel white, which is, I'm like, really? But I like how this comes out because it lets you know, as far as we think we've come, some individuals love to take us back a little bit to let us know, no, we really didn't, because this is what you showcase. I will say kudos to Disney. I know they put out a statement. Some people were in their feelings because, like, why was it through one of their subsidiaries called Freeform? It's part of Disney. Disney put out a statement saying how they feel. They're standing behind their decision. And they should. They don't need to change anything. If you are a true Disney fan, it's like, this truly is not going to bother you. And the person who was partly originated with The Little Mermaid, she welcomed her with open arms. All the other different people, actors and actresses, whatever, congratulated her, whichever. It's like, we have bigger things to worry about. If this is what you want to entertain, whichever. No, this is where you want to stick behind to, whatever, no, to feel real good about yourself. This is the movie. This is it. This is where the moral compass comes important, whichever, that you want to discuss this part, The Little Mermaid. I'm like, okay. I just found it rather comical. It's real funny to me. Not even funny in a good way, but okay. I'm going to tell you like this. I look forward to seeing those pictures on the set to let us know we're moving this right along, whichever, and all this, so she can start prepping for her role in this. And I'm going to tell you like this. The main ones claiming they might not go see it, that's okay. A whole bunch of people will see this movie. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to post up here because the influx of beautiful fan art that was created for this, it is stunning. So I'm going to put it somewhere up here, whichever, that I just had to showcase some of this beautiful artwork that I came across. I thought was just visually just literally my jaw was just to the floor. Just beautiful, beautiful. And I just feel like it's just going to be a beautiful movie. It's just like, stop. Just some individuals, like I say, just be doing too damn much. You're doing too much. And doing much of what? Complaining about what? This is based off of a creature that's not even real. And, mermaids are white. Who said? Who? I'm like, where are you all getting this stuff from? Oh my God, I can't even understand it. So, but yes, in the end, I'm excited for it. I'm looking forward to seeing the movie when it comes out. I'd have seen it if it was white. I don't care. And no one should be truly caring about this type of stuff. This is nothing worth having even a big backlash for. I'm like, please stop. And they're trying to, be more, inclusive, with diversity, whichever and all that. Yes, there's nothing wrong with that as well. There's not everything has to be one set stone to look just like this all the time. Because in the end, remember, we're made of a whole bunch of different colors, shades, everything, creed. It's like, please stop. And I said, these individuals, I'm like, just stop because you just look ridiculous. And like I said, I'm glad that Disney is sticking to the guns and moving forward with this, whatever. Like, don't you buckle for nothing. Let them make all these little groups on social media, make these little hashtags all they want. It's like, whatever. Get it out of your system. Do whatever you need to do. You don't want to come and see it, but trust and believe me, they're going to find a way to pirate that movie from home so nobody will see that they saw it, but they're going to watch it. Please. Give me a break. They're going to watch that movie just like everybody else. So I love the other fan art that was put out where it shows the Ariel from the actual, what is it, animation, welcoming Halle Bailey, in open arms as Little Mermaid for the live action. I thought it was beautifully one that I saw for one of the fan arts. So, but yes, I'm looking forward to it. Congratulations to Halle Bailey. Do your thing, girl. I think she will be awesome as Ariel. I'm so here for it. I'm just looking forward to see who else is going to be cast. Now, I do know also one last thing that Melissa McCarthy will be, playing Ursula. People were talking about how they wish that Lizzo would be it. I can see that. That would be nice, but it does look like Melissa McCarthy will be. And if I'm not mistaken, we got ourselves Aquafina will be playing Scuttle. I'm happy for her. And then I know that Jacob Tremblay will be playing Flounder. So I'm totally here for these other castings. So I'm looking forward to seeing Melissa McCarthy play Ursula. I can already visualize it. That's one like, yeah, I'm here for it. It just looked like the casting is coming along perfectly. I'm so ready to hear the music. I will be there front and center. The amount of kids are going to be in there, and even little girls. If they keep her hair where it actually is, the locks, whichever. How many little girls who probably have hair just like myself and her? That's going to be just something that they would just be so happy to see, and I would just love them for that. So, but yes, again, I'm looking forward to it. I'm dying to know when it's coming out. I want to think it's a possibility it might come out next year, but I don't think so. Something makes me think this might be coming out in 2021. I think it's too much competition for this for next year unless they move it closer to the end of the year around the holidays. They could. You never know. So I'm going to keep my eyes, posted on this particular one. So when I know an actual date, I'll let you all know. So, but that is it. That was a doozy. I'm sorry, you guys. I went on probably a little extra length of rant, whatever and all that, but I'm just not here for this foolery and this nonsense that, individuals waste their time and energy, but I'm not going to waste my time talking about it anymore. I said my piece in this one, whichever, and everybody has an entitled to their opinion. But I'm going to tell you like this. Don't come in my comment section with no ignorance, whichever, any type of racist comments, whichever and all that, because I can choose to let you know about yourself and then you're going to get blocked. Or better yet, I'll just let you say it so you can get it off your chest, and then I'm just going to choose to just not even entertain it at all. So with that said, you guys, I hope you enjoyed my movie news. Comment on any of that I've discussed. And with that said, I will see you guys on the next one. You guys take care.